Hello, everybody, and welcome to the aftermath of AEW Collision. Yes, folks, say it with me. After the collision, we sift through
the wreckage. I'm the only person here.
Ha! Brought to you by channelattitude.com. Please subscribe for $5 a month and the Hamin Media Group. This is the Wreckage. I am your host, Christopher Ambs. That's AMBS like lambs with no L and bullshit first thing in the morning. Don't worry, everybody. If you're wondering how in the hell am I going to remember how to spell this guy's last name, I'll just remind you at the beginning of every show. Don't worry. As you can see, I'm wearing my Montreal Canadiens hat as it's it's time to start the NHL season. Woohoo! We get to do something other than wrestling a couple of days of the week. That'll be fun. I don't know how I'm going to actually fit any hockey into my schedule, to be honest. Speaking of not being able to...
Don't things get preempted for hockey? I mean, I thought that's what this whole Tuesday, Wednesday bidding war thing was all about a couple years ago. Eh?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
And who the hell am I? Who's talking right now?
Oh, yeah. Well, he's the next level podcaster. His attacks have impact. And if you ask him or not, you'll get his whole opinion intact. Vet, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks. Glad to be here.
Yeah. How's your weekend going so far, bud?
Like I said last week, it's just starting. This is the start of my weekend. It is beautiful. I couldn't ask for a better start to my weekend.
Hooray!
Than sifting through wreckage.
Yeah.
What about you? Your weekend's coming to an end, I guess, or whatever.
I know it's a long weekend because it's Thanksgiving in Canada. So.
What?
Yeah. We have our Thanksgiving this weekend. So Monday, long weekend. Hooray.
Okay. Did you pretend you were friends with somebody and then turn on them too, or how does it work in Canada? Like what is it?
It's something like that. It's something like that. Yeah. I think it's basically like we really like the States, but we're not the States. So we wanted to have stuff that's just like the States.
Oh.
Like the States?
Yeah, the States. Not the
Aren't
States
we all
of
like
Australia.
that? Not the steaks. The States.
Yeah.
Who the hell's
I like
that?
the steaks too.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, right. So joining me is my usually unusual co-host with the most from the Port Phillip coast. The whole anal Greek thing should really be a meme, and so should his love of Ricky Stark's entrance theme. It's Jimmy T, the Bogan Hunter. Jimmy, welcome to the show.
Was it the Fletcher Hunter in this case? But no, well, I'm not exactly a Bogan Hunter, and I hate Ricky Stark's theme, as a matter of fact. But one Australian thing I do like, it says it right there. Tony toned.
Whew.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. I've even got an emoji.
That was a match that I would really like to have with Tony Storm tonight. I gotta say, I want to have that match with Tony Storm.
It was the only piece of wreckage I thoroughly loved.
All of the ass slapping was like offense that I would really love to be able to land on Tony Storm. I gotta be honest. I would, yeah. That's
Crikey.
Whew, that was a good moment in professional wrestling. That was one of those moments
timeless,
like
Chris.
Hogan and Rock. That was one of those moments like the pipe bomb. I'm gonna be thinking about that moment in professional wrestling for a very, very long time. Good stuff.
I can taste it.
I wish I could taste it. If you wanna do me a favor, Jimmy, since I don't have control over this show, can you actually highlight Chris Winland's first comment there? Because
very first comment?
Yeah, his first one, yeah. He said, so much coverage in one little weekend. Is there a point where too much wrestling drains your fandom? What other programs do you guys watch as adamantly as wrestling? The answer to the first question is abso-fucking-lutely. And the answer to the second question, I guess, yeah, okay. Well, what do we all sort of follow as closely as professional wrestling?
Is there time for anything else?
that's exactly my question is like I don't know if I have time to follow anything as much as I follow professional wrestling because so much of my time goes into professional wrestling and then podcasting about professional wrestling.
Yeah,
But
pretty
yeah,
nuts.
I read a lot of books. Like I read a lot of books because I'm able to like listen to audiobooks while I work. So like I wind up doing that quite a bit. I like a lot of kinds of books, but I like horror and sci-fi, and I really like more like educational books lately. I've been getting really into Thomas Sowell, so Thomas Sowell has some really great books. Right now, I'm reading Vision of the Anointed. That's great. It's all
Mm.
about how people think they're smart, and most of the people who think they're smart are really assholes who just fuck everything up for people. It's basically true. Um, Jimmy, do you follow
Yo,
anything as closely as you follow professional wrestling?
well, I'd like to. Honestly, I've got no time to watch any sort of TV show right now other than fucking wrestling. Really, it's just impossible. Really, it's just trying to keep up with some sports, man, at the moment because that's the only thing I could even do, and even that is hard. So, yeah, right now I love watching documentaries, pretty much, man,
Mm.
and
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 listening to
like
hip
listening
hop.
to stuff, and of course the music is always around, no matter what. But other than the music. Yeah, like I'm interested in history, man. I love reading as well, but even then, now reading it just puts me to sleep. Like especially after like doing all these shows and whatnot. Maybe I'm getting old, man. I'm becoming an old man. It's
Jimmy's
just
become
I'm
the
ready for
old
the bed.
man. He sits on his rocker
Yeah.
chair and like starts reading and just falls asleep. My grandpa
Nah,
used to do
not
that. He
that
would
bad.
twiddle his thumbs. My grandpa, he had like one of the knuckles on his thumb actually like blown off in World War One or in World War
Oh no
Two,
shit.
and he would sit there and he would twiddle his thumb and his stump, and then he would like fall asleep all the time after he would twiddle his
Oh
thumbs.
no
So you'd
shit.
watch him and he'd be sitting on the couch and he'd be twiddling his thumbs and he'd be like, "You're gonna fall asleep, Grandpa?" He'd be like, "No, I won't," and then he'd be asleep in like 5 minutes. It was great.
Oh, and I
Uh,
wanted to mention in my spare time, generally when I get a chance, I love playing video games. Obviously,
yeah,
that's
video
what I
games.
do pretty much most of the
Well,
times
I
these
mean,
days
hey,
in my spare time. Yeah.
speaking of video games, Vet, what do you like to
Yeah.
do as much as wrestling?
Uh, well, everything I like to do more than wrestling. Um, but it's just
Oh.
sort of, it doesn't work out that way, right? I think without telling my entire life story just to make you understand, I'll try to condense it as like tightly as possible. But just know that the reason that I watch as much as I do is because I've always been of the belief that the more critical you're going to be, the more knowledgeable you're going to be. So I have to follow everything that goes on, but it's mostly the programs. Like I don't spend as much time on the sheets, you know.
Yeah.
I just let the programs and their presentation show me the talent, and then I evaluate the talent. Um, but in order to fully understand the context of all of these things, I have to intake as much as I can. And necessarily, I just don't have time to watch every single thing, but I try to watch as much as I can. So I'm familiar with a lot of the people, but I think that's important. Anytime you're going to be a public, even saying we're public figures, like in the grand scheme of things, very, very minute, but it is public. Anyone could
Mm,
watch us or
mm.
listen to us. We're accessible. But if you're going to do that, I've always felt that because these people are working hard, you really should know as much as possible. So that's something that's important to me as an analyst or, a retired wrestler, whatever you want to say. Um, I have to keep up with it whether I like it or not. Like is no, it's like not everybody likes accounting that's an accountant. Perhaps they're just gifted with numbers, math, and those type of things, and it's the best
Just
way
like
for them to
Tony.
make a living, even though they have other interests instead, right?
Mm.
So I don't know why I get pro wrestling, but it's just part of what I do. That being said, if I have all my own time, gaming, like I know you guys both game, so I stream it, and that's an extension of. I was doing that even before podcasting, but as an extension of this, I can sort of combine my audiences. Hopefully, there's some crossover there that'll be beneficial, and that has made me this. You guys might find this interesting, but that has made me sort of look at video games differently than I used to. I'm sure we were all
Really?
familiar with playing a game that we sunk dozens of hours into, and we're like, wait, is this even really fun? What am I doing? You do it
Yeah,
out of like a
for
sense of
sure.
obligation or
100%. I love that you said that.
or
Yep.
or habit, like if it's one of those
So true.
grindy loot games or something,
Yeah.
like you just have to log in every day and do your goals and these things that you're like, do I even enjoy this? So when I stream and you've got other eyes watching you and you're watching it, you're experiencing it as you're playing the game, but you're also vicariously experiencing the viewer's experience. Like
Right.
it
right.
really calls attention to all the things about games and game design and quality of life and those kind of things. It really brings all that into focus to make you go, you know what? I'm dropping this. I'm not going to waste another second of my life playing this. And it really makes me approach and appreciate what games do well even more, and it allows me to make a snap recognition of when a game's not doing enough to keep my attention. So it's been very beneficial in that way.
Yeah, no, for sure. I completely agree with your analysis of pro wrestling in terms of,
Wow.
like, you want to be as knowledgeable as you possibly can be if you're going to talk about it. And what you just said about video games is exactly how I feel about pro wrestling. Um, the more I watch it, the more I nitpick, but because of that, when someone does something well, I really appreciate it. Like, it makes me love wrestling. It makes me love good wrestling more than I ever used to. Like, it makes me love good wrestling in a way that I probably wouldn't otherwise, because I focus so much on what's going on and I see so much crap that when someone does something good, it's like, oh, it's almost like a relief to me. It's like, oh, thank God somebody somebody fucking gets this, somebody understands how to do this properly. And it is like this relief almost when I see some good pro wrestling. So we're gonna get to some of that tonight as hey, the Bang Bang Gang are on TV. So something good happened.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Well, I don't know. Jimmy,
Mhm.
what do you want to talk about?
Yes. Wow. Well, we start off with a funny old little matchup, and it was a tag team matchup, right, Chris? I mean,
It
for
was.
the
Well, actually,
AEW Tag Team Championships.
we started with insert promos to begin the night. They went
Oh
with
well,
4 of them
yeah.
tonight, which I think is the sweet spot. I think 6 drags too much. I've seen
They've
them
had
do 6
6.
inserts. Yeah, they've done that actually quite a bit. They've done 6 inserts. I think
Yeah,
it's
that's
too
weird.
much, and 4 is the sweet spot. That feels right. Whenever they do 4, they're able to keep it so that you're interested in what's being said, but you're not, by the 5th one going, "Oh, for fuck's sakes, can we just get to the goddamn show already?" So I would say stick with 4, guys. Might just be my personal feelings, but welcome to Salt Lake City, Utah.
Mhm.
There were about 60 people in this fucking arena.
And it felt like that the whole show, if that makes any sense. It was very quiet. Even those
Oh
intros at the
boy.
start, did you notice they were almost whispering to the camera? It wasn't really like, like it felt
Yeah.
there was something off about this show, but in a quiet sense.
So the camera couldn't even avoid showing empty seats opposite hard cam for Ricky Stark's entrance. Like, Ricky
Oof.
Starks was making it, like, they made the entrance with him and Big Bill, right? And as they're coming down, they're showing the fucking opposite of hard cam, which is supposed to be the most full spot of the arena, right? And as they're showing Ricky and Bill walk down to the ring, you can see 5, 6, 8 seats empty in a row in different portions of that side of the fucking camera. And it was like, God damn, pal. Am I watching OVW? What the fuck is going on here?
Oh boy. Yeah, it's pretty sad, man. I'm almost I was embarrassed. I don't know about you, Vet, but I felt embarrassed for like guys like Jay White, guys like Edge. They had to sit there. I mean, Edge especially, man. If anyone thought he was going to be a draw, sorry to break it to you guys, he's no needle mover in AEW. It's just, it is what it is. You and I, Chris, called it as well. We said it before the ratings came out. He ain't moving no fucking needle. As a matter of fact, he moved the needle downwards. Just saying.
I don't know what to say about it other than just like, I really think that there are about 4 people in all of professional wrestling who are draws, and 2 of them are at best part-timers. Like 3 of them are part-timers, in fact. John Cena, The Rock, Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar. Those are the actual needle movers in pro wrestling. It's not, there's not a big fucking list. Everybody else it might be really good wrestlers, you know, but nobody else really is going to move a needle in terms of getting more people to watch. We'll get to Jay White because that was actually pretty egregious, to be honest with you. Listening to that promo in that arena with the fucking echo almost was like, come on, man. Like, you talk about a guy who deserves better. Anyway, yeah, what the fuck is up, Salt Lake? It's Saturday. People shouldn't be at the temple. It's supposed to be tomorrow. Everybody's fucking busy. Jesus.
Yeah, it's Salt Lake City, man.
All right, so Cash gets tossed off the corner to begin the match. That's right? Cash is the one with hair.
Yes, Cash Cashton and Dax Daxton.
Right, but Dax is the one who's bald. So okay, so Cash gets tossed off the corner to begin the match, selling a rib injury, which allows Starks and Bill to take control early. Dax also has his arm taped up, so it's like everybody's fucking hurting.
It's fashion now, Chris.
It's just the fashion. Just wear kinesio tape. Just everybody wear it. It looks cool. This is what Cesaro has given professional wrestling. Everybody wears kinesio tape.
Everybody.
All right. Bill goes outside and he picks up Cash and he puts him through a table at ringside, which is not a disqualification.
No, not in AEW. No, it's AEW.
Weird. It's weird. That's weird.
Really.
He goes back into the ring with Dax, gives him a choke slam, and then he goes to pin him. But Stark says, no, another one. Give him another one. So he picks him up and he hits him with another choke slam. And he goes to pin him. And Stark says, no, hit him with another one. So he picks him up and he hits him with another choke slam. And then he says, no, pick him up. One more. And then he doesn't hit him with a choke slam. And he just holds him by the throat while Ricky bounces off the ropes twice, hits a spear, and pins for the 1, 2, 3. Your new AEW Tag Team Champions, Ricky Starks.
Enzo and Cass.
Big
Whoops. Oh.
Bill.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, don't you see that Big Bill is essentially Wardlow now? And that imposter that was on Wednesday night, I don't know who the hell that was.
I don't know. He came out and he was real mad though, and then he left through the crowd. He was like, "Fuck this shit! I'm getting out of here."
That dude had hair, man. I've never seen that guy in my life.
I'm not sure if there's an injury.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if there's a legit injury or something, but the way that this match looked was that Cash couldn't work. Basically, like Cash had to just go sell. I like that they gave the belts to Starks and Big Bill. I really do. These are a couple of younger guys on the roster who, I've been saying for a long time that both of these guys deserve big wins. They deserve moments. They deserve to actually get like real sustained pushes. And hey, them getting the tag belts in a dominating way over FTR is a good moment for me. I like this. I know there's going to be some people who disagree, but I actually really like the fact that Big Bill and Ricky Starks are the AEW World Tag Team Champions now. And if they needed to take the belts off of FTR, I'm just glad that they didn't give it to the fucking Young Bucks right away. Although I'm sure they're going to win the tag belts soon.
Hmm.
Because hey, having the ROH, triple 34 17-man tag team championships or whatever
17,
the
man.
fuck they have isn't enough for the EVPs of this company. Vet, what did you think of this match? Question mark.
I loved it. This is the best FTR match I've ever seen. It really was.
5-star
You know,
FTR for you, Vic. Come on, man.
To your point, perhaps this is an audible called for some reason. However, if there was nothing wrong and these guys were healthy enough to be, continue to be on the road having matches and everything, and you still booked it this way, I would still love it.
Yeah.
Not only it's good for everyone because FTR losing like this is the best thing that could have happened. Because they already put over the fact that they were hurt right in their promo at the very beginning of the show.
Mhm.
So it's yeah, I don't need to see another 20-minute classic from you guys. Classic. I don't need to see a 20-minute classic from the hurt guys. I've had enough of guys saying they're hurt and then going on to perform superhuman feats in the ring, and be undamaged by everything that happens to you. I like the idea that this giant man actually puts you down and you stay down.
It's a
When
first.
he was picking up Dax Daxon for all those choke slams, I was like, oh my God, they're going to do
That
this.
was
They're going to have
vicious,
Cash
man.
come in and make a comeback. I really thought that's what they were going to do. I thought they were dragging it out to buy him time. And then when they've just beat him flat like that, I was like, oh, brilliant. This is the opposite of flat. This is actually the peak that you could ever reach. You made a dominant showing over guys who profess to be the best in the world at what they do, and you can really parlay that into something now if you have them do the exact same thing to the Young Bucks. Wow, this wasn't a fluke. They actually are serious about this shit. Ricky Starks and Big Bill have found whatever magic they've needed to find, and they are going to kill guys. And if this becomes their gimmick of beating the shit out of guys, maybe you can get a tag team division back together and, really create some contenders amongst yourself so that by the time somebody's able to challenge these guys legitimately for the belts, we'll have an exciting match. People will be actually wanting to see a tag team match as opposed to, your guys' review of Rampage where you had enough of tag team matches.
Oh
so
my God.
that is in every way possible, and in sure ways that I'm forgetting to say right now, this was the best possible outcome.
Yeah. No,
Well,
I would
I've got
love
news
that. Go ahead, Jimmy.
about this match, and if it was an audible or not, you just reminded me actually, Vet. Well, guess what? It was Cash Cashton and Dax Daxton's idea to lose the belts in this way. There's no reports that there is an injury per se, but rumor has it that Cash Cashton is apparently injured, but they wanted to drop the belts to these two guys, and they wanted to drop the belts as quick as they did. So I find that kind of weird.
Good
That's
for them.
not weird. It's not
think
weird
so?
because if you're gonna make a guy, fucking make a guy. It's not
Yep,
just the win that makes
100%.
the guy. And you keep yourself over because everybody knows that the only reason it was is because you were banged up.
Right.
But you lose, but you have sympathy now. You went and you
Right.
fought injured, and these guys took advantage of you. So that gets them over as heels, you over as baby faces. All the, like I said, it's such a win-win for everybody. This is the best booking that it could have been, whether it was on purpose or not.
Yep.
Well, that's
This-
what the dirt sheets are reporting. So yeah.
If that's true, that's a really good example of professional wrestling. Professional as in wanting to make money and do things properly. That's awesome. That's really, really awesome to hear if that's what happened. And also to Vet's point, I would love for them to beat the Young Bucks in 6 minutes and then beat the Lucha Brothers in 3. I like just fucking that's it. Fuck you guys. Up your game. We're a different fucking level from whatever you've been doing for the last 3 years. That would be great. I would love that shit. And then have them have a real feud with Bear Country. Give Bear Country something to really fucking work at.
All right, calm
I don't
down.
know. Yeah, exactly. Calm the fuck down, man. I don't know about bear country, but
Iron
yeah.
Country.
Iron
Oh yeah,
Bears. The Iron Bears. The
Iron Bear
country iron.
countries.
The Iron Country Bears. The big fat
That's
fucking
that's a
Iron
Disney
Bear
movie
country.
waiting to happen.
Yeah,
The Iron Country Bears,
for sure.
starring Vin Diesel.
Starring Vin Diesel.
No, come on, man.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
fuck, no, man.
And
Not
Rachel
Vin
Ziegler.
Diesel.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
Rachel Ziegler needs a
why?
fucking part.
Why Rachel Ziegler?
Yeah, because she keeps getting fired from all of her parts because she's toxic and keeps scaring
Shit.
people away from watching movies she's in.
I've got images in my head just with fucking Vin Diesel already. Not to
That's
mention
good
Ziegler.
Good stuff. All right, so next up we have a recap from Wednesday. Fuck off. I don't care.
What was the
Stop.
recap? Actually, I don't remember even seeing it.
It was Edge. It was recap.
yeah,
Look,
yeah,
we have Edge. Edge is here.
That's your problem. That's your problem. You don't have Edge. You have Adam Copeland.
Yeah.
You know, you put that on a poster, ain't nobody gonna buy a ticket. They don't know who that is.
Dude, fucking Nick Wayne later in tonight, he has a promo where he was like, yeah, you know, I understand Christian because it was always Darby Allin and Nick Wayne, just like it was always Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. And I'm like, no, it wasn't. It was Edge and Christian. Nobody ever said Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. Go fuck yourself, you weird
True.
little skinny bastard.
Yeah, this is a this is a Mandela effect. Don't you remember? It was actually A and C, not E and C. You
Yeah.
know?
Ooh,
Like
A
you're
and C.
remembering it wrong.
Bears.
Yeah. A and C.
Yeah.
Or was it A and J?
No, it was A
Wow.
and C.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was
it was
C. Yeah,
ANC,
no,
fair
they're
enough.
sticking with that.
It
All
was
right, so
ANC.
next up, Bryan Danielson versus Kyle Fletcher. Okay.
Ugh.
So good things and bad things from this match. So Fletcher begins the match overpowering Bryan, which the announcers correctly attribute to leverage because he's tall and skinny. I like that. I like the fact that some of this stuff gets back to logic, right? Like Bryan Danielson shouldn't be overpowering a guy who's 8 inches taller than him, and weighs
Literally.
30 pounds more than him. He shouldn't be overpowering that guy. He should have to use his technique and other things, right? Which he does. Bryan warms up eventually, takes over with good technical control and solid striking. Really fucking dangerous spot before the break as Fletcher does a dive, and Bryan basically saved the kid by redirecting him, because otherwise he was going to go full force head first into the fucking barricade. Like,
He did save him, legitly, man. He actually did. It would have been a
Fuck
lot
him.
worse. Yeah, that was bad, man. But you know what's annoying, though? And you talk about logic and stuff, right? How he had to use, his wrestling abilities to not so much overpower Fletcher, but, to get a grasp of Fletcher. That's cool, and I agree with exactly what you said. My issue is Fletcher booked really strong, generally? Like,
Well,
why
they
are they having a barn
definitely-
burner? Why is he struggling now against Fletcher?
So Fletcher was talked up a lot on commentary. At
They
one
do
point,
like him,
Kevin
I'll
Kelly
say
said,
that.
and I quote, "We're watching the present and the future of AEW." And I went, okay.
Can you
Are
imagine
we?
this guy as the guy? Honestly, yeah, he's tall.
Listen, big praise for the kid, and fine, but yeah, I saw him being careless at least 2 or 3 times, including getting a really wrong angle on a Michinoku driver that scared the shit out of me when I was watching it. That
And the
fucking
turnbuckle
Michinoku
spot,
driver,
too.
and the turnbuckle spot, and the fucking dive to the outside, and he's tall. That doesn't make him good. Okay.
Didn't I tell you? Didn't I fucking tell you?
You have mentioned a few times that these guys don't know how to fucking work, and this kid looked like he was gonna fucking kill somebody, especially on that Michinoku driver. I couldn't watch it back because Jimmy actually had it playing for me because I had to watch the fucking
You
WWE
could've
pay
told
per
me.
view live. No, it's fine. But that Michinoku driver, like fucking that was, I don't know, 2 inches from landing the guy right on his fucking head. Don't do that. Don't Don't do that. That fucking scared the fucking fuck out of me, to be honest with you, when I saw it live, because I was like, oh fuck, is were we gonna see a kick out here? I was really glad to see the kick out because it showed that, hey, Daniel Bryanson isn't you know, gonna be in a wheelchair now. So anyway, yeah, it's Brian Danielson eventually gets the win with a technical pin. I'm not sure what the fucking pin is called, but it's, it's one of those like technical pins where it looks like a guy can't kick out. I like that on the occasion. I really do like finishes like that sometimes. It's one of the
It
reasons
wasn't
why
a roll
I
up
really,
for once.
yeah, not a roll up exactly, but
Right.
it looked like a very good technical trapping pin, which
It did.
I
It did.
think I think they should actually have more wins like
He
that
bridged it,
in
didn't he?
wrestling. Yeah,
He
he
done
bridged
like a
them, had
bridge,
them
right?
all kinds of fucking locked up for that pin. And to me, there's a couple of things that I really love from Bret Hart's career, and that's that some of the biggest wins he had wasn't sharpshooter tap out. It was really interesting, different pins like that, right? So like when he lost to Bulldog at Wembley, same kind of thing. There was
It
that
was the
fucking
same. It
pin
was the same
where he
pin.
basically had
The bridge.
where Bulldog had his legs locked up, and it was like, no, you can't move. You're not gonna
Okay,
kick
yeah,
out of
you're right.
this.
Yeah, and everybody's stolen that and way overused it ever since. Starting
Absolutely,
with Cody Rhodes.
Cody's the worst.
He
Cody
loves he
ruined
loves that. He loves that I just call it the Wembley 92 because you see it so often that it deserves a name now. It's like, "Oh, you're just doing that
Like the
finish."
Tiger
Okay.
Driver, 97.
Yeah, it's yep. Mhm. It's just like
also
that.
when when Brett beat Piper, when Piper locked in the sleeper hold, and
The
Brett
sleeper
just
hold,
like
right.
rolled back and basically had him
And
pinned.
used his body's momentum to go
Yeah.
over
Everyone
him. Like,
stole that
yeah,
one too.
that's true
Yes,
too.
everybody steals everything from Brett because Brett's so fucking awesome. But like,
Oh, oh my God. What about the time at Survivor Series 95 when he gave Diesel a small package? Oh my God, everybody's stealing the small package finish now. Oh, Jesus.
No. Except it's not even called the small package anymore, Vet.
Well, whatever. It's Ike Cradle, whatever you want to call it. That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
finish.
like, they had to change the name practically too. Like, do you remember the slingshot? Anyone?
Yes. Wait, what
I
do you
remember
think it is?
slingshots.
No. I'm talking about the wrestling move, the slingshot. Does anyone
Which one's
remember
that?
it? It's
You
pretty
talking
much,
about-
they call it the catapult now.
Uh,
But
okay,
years
when you
ago,
just like
I'm talking about
grab the
late
guy by the
80s,
legs
early
and throw him
90s.
into the ring.
Right, yeah. They used to call it the slingshot, but now it's a catapult,
Oh, yes.
Cool.
which is cool, but I still think of it as a slingshot, but whatever. It's
Also,
nothing.
Tony Storm wins later tonight with a pile driver. No, not a Storm Zero, a pile driver.
Storm Zero, Chris.
But business
Timeless.
picks up.
Whatever her finish is a Storm Zero, Chris. If she used the inside cradle, they'll call it Storm Zero. That's just
Yeah.
what the announcers are trained to do.
It's good stuff.
It's timeless,
Business
Chris.
picks
Just
up
remember
next.
that.
Yeah. Business picks up next as the Bang Bang Gang come out alongside Jay White holding up the AEW Championship, which he looks good with that
Triple
belt.
B. He does.
Yeah.
Me like it.
They're facing Angelico, Gravity, and Metalik.
And
So,
Helico.
yeah, Angelico and Angelico. Angelico.
Angelica. Oh, he's a bitch now.
And Angelico. Gravity begins walking and moving very slowly, which gets him punched in the face. That's good. That's what should happen when people are being silly. I will forever say that every single time Orange Cassidy starts doing those weak kicks, whoever he's facing should just punch him really hard in the face. He should
But no
never
one
land a
does.
second one of those weak kicks. Never. Anyway, so good stuff here. Deserved. And Angelico,
With a
and
Q.
Angela Merkel ties
Ooh.
up Juice Robinson's arms, which looked cool, but that was about it from Angelico. He tags back out right
He
away.
still does this shit, bro.
He's a little weird, that guy. He's a little weird. The guns look great. I actually mentioned to Jimmy while we were watching this that man, these guys have really improved over the last 6 or 7
They
months.
have.
Like
They're the best tag team legitly in AW, I think. As a
Yeah.
legit team.
Well, them versus Big Bill and Ricky Starks would be great. Although I'm not sure who would be the face in that particular pairing.
At this
Um,
point, nobody.
Colton lands a beautiful drop kick to accent my point, as I'm like
How
literally as
much
I was
has he
saying.
improved,
Yeah,
guys? Colton, man, has he not
yeah.
improved tenfold? He used to be the
I,
most shyest
I,
kid.
I don't even know which one is which.
The tall one,
Colton's
the
the
tall
tall
one,
one.
Oh, the tall one.
the tall one.
Anyway,
The
continue
big
with your
ass.
review, Chris.
All right. Gravity here.
He shakes his head.
I want to give him I
Sorry.
want to give him some props because he sold Robinson punches like a shotgun blast. Really
Wow.
good job. Like Robinson landed a fucking left and Gravity just flattened like kabam.
The left
Good
hand of
sell.
God?
Yeah, it was a good
Hmm.
sell. Really, really good sell. The match then devolves into a spot fest where everybody clearly had places to be and things to do, so they did the things and
Places
stood in
to
the
be.
places they were supposed to be.
Uh,
And then Robinson got the win for his team. The match was pretty much what you should expect out of a 6-man match between these 6 guys. Um, Angelico and Helico and Go to Helico, whatever the fuck his name is, the South
Go to
African guy.
Helico. Yeah.
I really like the way he works, though. Like when he's actually just wrestling, I like that he's very focused on, locking things up, and it's a very European style of wrestling.
He's
Um,
unorthodox completely, man. That's true.
yeah, it's fun. I like different. I like things to be a little different as long as they're logical, and he seems to work in a pretty logical way, although his character is not logical at all. So
What's
that's
his character? A dopey fuck?
to be really fucking weird. Just super fucking weird. Um, that's pretty much it.
The fact that he's still under contract with AEW is kind of surprising to me.
I don't know. Nothing surprises me with AEW anymore.
But
Anyway,
that's true. That's true.
before we get into Jay White, what did you think of the match, Jimmy?
I mean, it was fun just watching the Bang Bang Gang. Really, that's it. I didn't care. I couldn't care less about stupid ass Gravity. All right. I mean, come on, man. The fact that Austin Gunn was doing it as well kind of popped me, right? But really, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. Really?
Yeah, it's nonsense. I don't like. I'm not one of these people who thinks funny can't draw any money. I do like
No,
comedy wrestling sometimes.
it's insulting though. This
I
type of
don't
funny
I
is
don't
insulting
like
funny.
yeah, exactly. I don't like illogical nonsense. I just don't, right? Danhausen, cursing people makes it look like he's an idiot who thinks he can curse people, which is fine. I
Mm.
don't mind that because that's a little bit of silly in wrestling that's like, I'm not I'm not meant to actually believe that this guy is cursing people, right? Like he's just an
Yes,
idiot
you
pretending to
are.
curse people. Whereas I don't understand the thing with Gravity. Is he really moving that slowly or is he just doing it for silliness? It's
I
fucking
have no
annoying.
idea, but if you're gonna do that, at least use it as a taunt after you've dropped your opponent, not fucking right in
Yeah,
front
don't
of your
just
opponent.
walk
Like,
up to your opponent slowly and
right?
then not expect to just get smacked in the face because you deserve to get smacked in the face.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, let's talk about Jay White. He takes the mic and he's like, first of all, I love that he was like, hey, boys, we're missing someone. We're missing someone.
Yeah.
And they were like, huh? Who? And they're missing Cardblade. Why was they left Cardblade on the side? Come on, Cardblade needs to be in the ring, so they go and get Cardblade. Again, an example of funny in wrestling that is funny. This whole Cardblade thing is great.
I love how
Jay
much
White
bigger
says,
Card Blade is.
yeah, he's like 3 inches taller than actual Jay
Yeah,
White, which is great.
it's fucking
um,
hilarious.
Jay says AEW deserves a real champion, someone who actually cares about the belt, and he doesn't know where MJF is. Is he healing up at home? Is he healing Adam Cole up at Adam Cole's home? That was funny because it's kind of, it's kind of, it's a little
um,
homoerotic, that whole thing between
Little
MJF
G.
and Adam Cole, and that's funny because basically everything else in this company seems to be a little homoerotic lately.
Did you say in this comedy?
In this company.
Right.
Um, All right. He challenges Adam Page to a title eliminator, which he makes fun of the idea of. He's like, what the hell do you call it here? A title eliminator. He says it in an aggravating American accent. Very cool.
Oh yeah,
Very
that
funny.
was funny.
The crowd is so sparse tonight that they just can't make the appropriate amount of noise to anything that's going on. So there are moments where Jay was like letting things breathe, and you know that if there was a crowd of a couple thousand people, they would have reacted, but because there was like 400 people in the whole fucking crowd, they just didn't. This made me kind of sad for Jay White because he deserves better than this. Um Vet, I'm not going to ask you about the match, the promo. What did you think? And did you notice this lack of crowd reaction the same way that I did?
So I don't have to talk about the match, but I can touch on Gravity and clear that up for you guys. Don't
Please.
you understand that Gravity is walking on the moon? Don't
He
you
is?
understand that? Yes.
Oh,
He had
Oh,
the
so I
astronaut
see.
suit, so he's doing it like...
topless.
Well, he doesn't wear the astronaut suit now. He probably got tired of lugging it around. It's probably what, and realistically, that's probably what happened.
Yeah.
But
I see.
no, I mean, I get it, and it is kind of a taunt. It doesn't really bother me. It'd be great if it's just like striking a pose on your entrance or something like that. If you come out like that, that's just like part of your entrance. Now, once you're in the match, it would be great to do that like to a heel, and then the heel go to punch you, and then he snaps into real motion and like ducks the punch or whatever and goes into a spot, right?
See, little things like that make a huge difference. As a matter of fact, Vet.
But that's not what happened. That's not
No,
what
it's
happened.
not. It's not what
Right.
happened. Gravity's not doing it right. But the problem is not his slow walking. His problem is his psychology. So that
Yeah,
can
spot
be
on.
tuned up.
As with almost every mistake that you see in pro wrestling, it's not about what you did, it's about when you did it. It's the exact same thing that I have to say about Orange Cassidy. I don't the slow kicks don't fucking bother me that much. If he's in there and he's got a guy fucking rocked and the guy's like wobbling and he throws the little weak kicks at him as a taunt, I get it. That totally makes sense. And if then he, manages to counter something really quickly, right? It makes sense. But just doing it to do it at the beginning of a match, right? When a guy's fresh, it's stupid. Just the same thing with the gravity thing, right? If
But
he's
what about
doing the
eating
slow
chips?
walk, if he's doing the slow walk like that right at the beginning of a fucking match, bell rings and he walks to the center of the ring like this, he should just
He
get
needs
punched
a-
in the fucking face. Like that's
He needs the
stupid.
Chariots of Fire entrance music while he's walking out like that.
Yeah. Anyway, like everything else
he
in pro
need-
wrestling,
the
it's
kid-
your timing.
The kid needs help. That's fine. So the promo.
Mhm.
As far as the crowd, well, Jay's used to working in front of silence because he was a pandemic era New Japan champion.
Oh my
so
god! You're like,
he,
come on,
like-
clap.
yeah, he's used to this. He turned it
Yeah,
into
yeah.
a gimmick.
That was cool.
So no problem there. But yeah, I'm one thing I kept thinking about is like the character of Jay that persists throughout his incarnations or whatever. Like he just brings it where he goes. And I wonder if AEW booking is going to continue with this, because what he's done is he's told people what he's going to do and then he does it, right? Like that's right, Jimmy. That's basically
Yeah.
like the whole thing. So
Absolutely.
so if he's, in this thing, you always would say during the lead up to any of his title matches or whatever, it's like, well, surely Jay White's not going to win. There's no way they would do that. And then he does that. So it's very intriguing to see if that's going to happen again, like where everybody's just going to assume, especially the people that are just, they just have to review AEW, but they don't really like, I can picture guys like Conan and Disco, for example, saying he's not going to win. I could see them going through all that, and then Jay White just wins and is the AEW champion. It's like, oh my god, he did it again. Like, I would love to see that happen. I don't think it's going to be good for business necessarily, but whatever. Neither is MJF, getting his shoulders rubbed by Max Caster. That's not good for business. It's not bringing in any
Oh,
extra. It's not going to bring in any extra tickets, no extra merch. It's just something you're doing, and you're sort of ruining what was one of the a la carte menu items that I would like to order. Now it's like, if I see MJF, it's like, God, look what you're making him do.
Yep.
That's not the response you're supposed to have. So I guess the promo is fine. I always like Jay's promo. Again, I heard when there was the big long face off between him and MJF, it's like I heard, the complaints about that.
it's 40
And
minutes
I'm
long,
just
fella.
keeping in mind that Jay's not trying to make you like him, or he's not
Right.
trying to be a cool heel like even MJF, like even when MJF was at his most ruthless, it's hard not to want to pop for some of the stuff that he says. Jay White's not going to say cool things that you're going to like. He's going to be annoying. He's going to draw things out. And
And when
that's
you
what
do
he's
cheer for
supposed to
something he
do
said,
as a
he's
heel.
he's gonna turn it back around on you. I liked that tonight. He went and he started the promo by saying, where are all my Bullet Club Gold members in Salt Lake City? And a bunch of people cheered, and he was like, you're so easy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was like, don't cheer for me, you fucking marks. I love it. I love it. That's how a heel's supposed to be. You're not supposed to be cool. You're supposed to be a fucking asshole.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So, that's
you
basically
know
what I thought.
Well, you know what I did like about. I don't know if you guys noticed. I was saying it to Chris while watching it. Did you notice how Jay White was just pacing up and down throughout the whole match? He didn't really say anything. He's just pacing like a dog, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then fucking and then gets on the mic after the match and does his thing. But like you said, do you think Vet, especially, I'm asking you because you brought up the point. Do you think AEW will stick with the plan when it comes to Jay White? Do you think he will eventually be, potentially become AEW World Champion?
I don't know how to answer that definitively. I can only just say what I would do. Look, your angle is trash right now with MJF, Adam Cole. It was trash before, and
Pathetic.
whatever they were going to do, assuming Adam Cole didn't break his ankle, was trash.
Yep.
Without even seeing it, I know it's trash. So, this gives them an excuse to go in a different direction while they get that back on track. And maybe they can either save it for later, or they can think of something else for Adam and MJF to do in the meantime. But I've had enough of these friendship vignettes.
Me too.
So,
Done.
Like a while
so
ago.
if you put the title on Jay and the focus on Jay, then they can go play friendship vignettes off in the the middle of the show where no one will care or remember. Problem with that is, okay, well, who do you have for Jay White then?
Daniel
So-
Bryanson.
Right.
There's
So-
not enough guys to throw when you think about it, man. That's a meaningful feud. If you get my
Eddie
drift.
Kingston, champion versus
No,
champion.
fuck no. Ugh, fuck. I can see that happening.
Eddie Kingston's the one that brought Jay White here because he lost the loser leaves New Japan match. to Eddie
True,
Kingston.
that's a good point.
So there's some
That's true,
history
right.
there, but that would be a notch on Jay's belt if they were to go that route. I don't know, man. It sound everybody knows that I'm a Jay White supporter and flag bearer, so it's just going to sound biased for me to say he should be the champion. Maybe I wouldn't have done it this early, but at the same time, somebody like him is not going to be satisfied, character wise. Like, why wouldn't he want to be the champion immediately? So I don't know, man. I say just do it and figure everything else out later. That
Yeah,
seems
she's
to
got
be
nothing to lose.
the MO of AEW as
That's it.
as it is. What do you think,
Exactly.
Chris?
Oh, I agree. I think that what's going on with MJF and Adam Cole, not only is it not interesting anymore, and it really isn't. It was for
3 weeks.
a month, maybe a month. It was funny.
Not
right?
even really. Not even really. From that opening promo where, MJF completely dressed him down and then like the next week he's like, I guess I do still like you, Adam. Like, what? It's just there was nothing realistic or interesting about that. But anyway, continue.
All right. I thought that some of the fucking vignettes early were funny. But I don't
like how he doesn't love Brit.
Yeah, but I don't like I don't like them as tag champs. I don't like that this is dragging on as long as it is. This should have been okay, we're a tag team, we're gonna be real friends. Okay, we didn't win the tag title, now we're gonna have a feud over the title, and it should have been over. Instead, this is dragging on and on and on and on and on because a few people laughed about it on Twitter. And Tony Khan saw that and couldn't fucking help himself, but just keep going with this. Yeah, this is great. See, somebody on Twitter said I'm smart, and it wasn't Dave Meltzer. We got to keep going with this. So that's what we've been getting. And I've said this from the beginning, even from the very first fucking vignette they had that I thought was entertaining and funny, right? Them doing the thing in the gym, right? Where Adam Cole was out lifting him or whatever. I said to Jimmy, I said, this is entertaining, but this is not what you do with your world champion.
With your champion, exactly right.
Comedy,
it's facts.
Comedy can be great, but it really should not be around your world champion, at least not this long, right? You want to have a funny segment? Okay. But if your world champion is a comedy character, which MJF basically is at this point, you're doing something very wrong. So for me, I would say switch the belt, give it to Jay. As far as who does he feud with? Wardlow? What's Wardlow doing right now? He's a big threatening baby face that they could get a lot out of, to be honest with you. That would actually help elevate Wardlow too, even if he loses the feud, because now he's in a feud for the world championship and he gets to look strong against Jay White in moments, right? So I don't know. There are guys there who you could absolutely put into that position that would be good to have. And when I look at everything going on with MJF, I'm just very disappointed in where it's gone. Some Punk 82 has a really good. His last comment is deserves highlighting. Jimmy Kingston is extremely overrated, and yeah, not by this fucking panel. He's not overrated. He's exactly properly rated by the three of us. But yes, there are people who legitimately think he's a star, and it's like
a star. Like I was saying, I don't know if
I'll get to Kingston later.
I just want to point out Todd Brantley's comment also, because you know what's ironic about this comment? He goes on to say MJF's title run has been very underwhelming. I agree, actually. Though, so business-wise, it might not be the way to go, but I wouldn't mind seeing Jay White as champion. So there was another thing about where he said about who attacked him, right? What's the bet? They're going to forget that even happened, and we're never going to find out who that was.
Oh, no. They're never going to let that... They're going to be so proud of their reveal whenever that comes, whoever it is. They're going to be so pleased with themselves that no, they're not dropping that storyline.
You think so? Oh, man, I'm telling you, I wouldn't
100% Tony thinks that this is brilliant, and he can't wait to show everybody who it is.
Yep.
Oh, God.
This is the little kid who takes the big shit, like the real big shit, and then goes to his mom and is like, Mom, come look at my poopy.
You know,
somehow it's going to be Jay White kicking his own ass. Like you'll find out that it was him under the mask or something like that.
I legit, when we were talking about the Jay White fucking promo earlier and you were talking about Jay, I was legit thinking that. Wouldn't it be funny if it was Jay White and like Jay they reshot it and Jay got thrown into the fucking barrels or whatever, and then you just saw him like roll out to the side, put a mask on, and stand up? And that would be so AEW. It's fucking amazing.
Well, Josh wants to know, who would you guys choose as the attacker? I mean,
somebody
it's clearly
new.
Got to be the Kingdom, though, man. It has to be.
I would choose somebody new. I would want to make somebody off of this angle, but they're just gonna go with Adam Cole or Roddy or somebody.
Could it be the Elite? Could it be a complete curveball and be the Elite? It makes sense, but no one's thinking that. Think about it. Kenny's acting weird lately.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, well, exactly. But isn't Kenny acting kind of strange lately, if you've noticed?
Well, he was shooting a promo for Takeshita and Don Callis the other week, so that was weird.
Right, but there's something off. His actions seem just something off about him, right? Now, again,
Todd
I'm thinking
Brantley.
too deep.
I'm sorry, Todd Brantley.
It was Carb Blade.
Fucking credit. Get Jimmy
That would
Card
pop
Blade.
me. That would pop me. 100%. If that was Card Blade and Jay White's literally feuding with Card Blade somehow, I'm done. I'm satisfied.
The only man that can beat me is me.
Bang.
That shit fucking writes itself. That's
I love
great.
the new shirts too. If you notice his Card Blade's sort of hand pointing and it says fucking it's literally Card Blade's hand pointing
Get me one of
saying
those.
bang bang. Yeah, I gotta get one. Oh, Vet, I want to ask you, man. You know, you and I were hooked on Hook at one stage, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've let go.
Yeah, don't
I've
think
let
I
go,
didn't hear
bro.
what the fuck you said. You got massive heat with me, Jimmy. Don't you ever talk about Hook like that in public again.
I'm sorry, but once you start
I
eating
will finish
chips,
you.
bro, well, you better finish his chips because he just continuously eats chips, bro, and I'm done with the chips.
Bro, who doesn't like chips?
I love chips.
Come
but
on, you're gonna have to come with something a little better than that. Everybody likes chips. I mean, Lay's original's a little basic, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, he's had different kinds, right? So
well,
he's getting
funny,
a
the
he's
yellow
getting
packet,
he's getting a Frito-Lay sponsorship. I'm not mad at him.
he's becoming Orange Cassidy, legitly, like the same thing.
So
Ah, okay.
that's my rebuttal. So
Well,
look,
yeah.
they're missing the boat on their own guys. Hook's just one of many people in that boat. So, you know, I'll just wait until they figure it out. But somebody's going to figure it out if they don't. But he hasn't done anything wrong, so whatever.
I mean, he's just cooled off so much now. They've cooled him off bad. They don't know what to do with him.
Everybody's cooled off. That was really the point of my comment about who is next for Jay. If Jay's the champion, you know, you said Wardlow. Well, Wardlow's fucking cold.
Not me.
I don't care if he just showed back up and stormed through the crowd. He's fucking cold. Everybody's fucking cold.
Everybody, absolutely everybody. The biggest problem with this company was, always will be, apparently, consistency. They do not understand how to build
enemy,
people.
Dude. Right? No, they
don't.
don't.
They don't fucking get it.
Dude, everybody's cold. Everybody in wrestling's fucking cold. They just put the tag team belt on Cody. That's an ice pack. Like they actually got Cody hot, right? Coming out of AEW and coming in and getting a WrestleMania main event and all this shit and the story and everything, and people are still responding to him positively and sing his lyrics with no backing track. You know, when he did that run-in, you saw that run-in, right? On like, what was it, SmackDown, where they just kept singing his song when they cut it off. It's like they already know that whole fucking song. And this is what you're doing with them? Cold. They're cool. They'll cool anybody off. Anybody in any wrestling company will cool everybody the fuck off. Nobody's hot in wrestling right now.
Remember what I said during our preview show for Fastlane? I was like, they're not going to put the belts on Jimmy and Cody because nothing says not main event like having the fucking tag belts. Yeah.
Well, I called it. I was the only one that said it. They were going to win, and bang, I was right.
Yeah, but I was thinking...
Was that the opener? That was the opener, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I was thinking logically, you don't put the fucking tag belts on these guys if they're both main eventers, right? He's main event Jey Uso.
But I told you why they were going to do that. It's for them to be on SmackDown and continue the story. It's
and now
lazy,
he's got the tag belts.
It's lazy, but that's WWE.
Now he's a tag team champion. The story, he's finished the story. He's a tag team champion again. Hooray.
Did you guys check out how drunk they were?
Seven times.
Oh, true. Good point. Man, them two were drunk in the press conference, man. Pretty bad.
Which is hilarious.
Weird. Yeah, it's kind of weird. But anyway.
They had to drown their sorrows. They were like, oh, they're putting the fucking tag belt on. Jesus Christ. Give me a drink.
Oh, I don't blame him.
Speaking of sorrow, the rest of this show.
Yes, Iron Savages with Jack Jameson versus the Acclaimed. Speaking of sorrow.
I don't even have any muffins anywhere. Hold on. What can I eat?
What
can you eat? Well, the Iron Savages have an answer. Ass.
Oh, yes, it was.
Not that flexible.
I'm done.
The Iron Savages eat ass, and the Acclaimed like to scissor. I'm just gonna leave
And
that comment there for a
Johnny
minute.
Hungry is hungry for cock.
That's
There's the
hey man,
trifecta.
AEW in a fucking nutshell.
Nutshell, literally. That's like a Kinder Surprise in AEW. A nutshell. Jesus.
All right, so they have a pose off to begin the match, and right as soon as the pose off is over, Billy Gunn is selling. He's on his hands and knees, and one of the Savages makes like he's gonna eat Billy Gunn's ass.
Can we move on, please?
Yeah, no, I really want to let that breathe because this is the show that we're reviewing. This is what they have on this fucking show. All right. I'm gonna give Bowen some fucking love here. They gave him some attention on commentary, but it was all he's gay. Look at how he's gay, and isn't it brave of him to be gay? It's the bravest thing we've ever seen. He's gay. He really likes penis. Look at how brave it is for him to be open about liking penis. It's not.
What is he
It's
like
not
again,
brave.
Chris?
It's not brave, and they could have just focused on what he actually does well in the ring. Something I noticed, and I want to give him some fucking props for, because God knows I fucking pointed out when people suck at this. His strikes are great. This kid's punches and kicks look like he's punching and kicking people. It even sounds good when he fucking lands them. So props, because again, I pointed out enough that people suck at punching and kicking. His strikes look great.
But can he scissor and punch at the same time, though, Chris?
I don't know. Maybe he can eat ass and punch at the same time. Maybe he can scissor and eat ass at the same time. Maybe. Okay, that's enough
Be
of that.
funky,
Okay,
Chris.
so
It's a bit
props to
funky,
Bowens
man.
for the punches. Iron Bears country people take over for a bit by just being big and strong. Boulder misses a moonsault, which prompts a question. Why is a 6'6", 320-pounder going for a moonsault?
Well, why is a big dude like one of the Creed brothers do a cannonball off the top rope?
Cannonball makes sense.
No.
The
I
answer
mean
is because
literally
he
a
can.
cannonball.
Yes,
Yeah.
because he can.
I'm waiting for the day someone misses him and doesn't catch him, and there goes his career.
I don't understand why the luchadors aren't more pissed about this kind of shit, though. Like, that's my spot. You don't understand, Boulder. I can't pick up 4 men at the same time and hoist them over my head the way you can. I can do a moonsault. It's the only thing I can do that's interesting is my flippy shit. Don't take my flippy shit, Boulder.
Well, what about if he calls himself Boulder El Luchador? Would that change things?
Put him in a mask. You know what? You know what? They need to have a cruiserweight. They need to have a cruiserweight division, and Boulder needs to be their cruiserweight champion. Just put him in a mask, and he's suddenly a cruiserweight.
Nope.
Big dude.
Don't worry, guys. Nobody watches Iron Savages matches, including the luchadors in the back, so they'll never even know.
Caster shows off a pretty good amount of strength. He picks up Boulder for an AA. It's like a modified AA that he landed. That got a holy shit chant. And yeah, dude, you can just fucking deadlift 320 pounds like that on your shoulders. That's a lot of weight. That's a big fucking spot. So good for him. Mic drop elbow gets the win for the Acclaimed. The match was, I guess, fine. But just so much of this is juvenile. Like, it's
Juvenile.
the worst.
Good rapper back in the day.
It's the worst fucking part. Yeah, Juvenile's awesome, man. Juvie the Great. But it's the worst fucking parts of the Attitude Era all rolled into one here. Look, this team eats ass, and this team likes to scissor. What's gonna happen when they get in the ring?
Billy Gunn's here.
And Billy Gunn is here. Fuck me.
So scissor me, guys. Come on.
Scissor me, daddy ass.
You wonder why this place is half empty.
Yep. Well,
Just saying.
I didn't like this at all. Vet. What'd you think?
Everybody loves the Acclaimed, and nobody watches the Iron Savages.
Yeah.
Including me and the Luchadors. We all got together. I was texting with Gravity. I was like, "You ain't watching this, right?" And he's like, "No," which is Spanish for no. So
yeah. It's good Spanish. That's really good Spanish.
No,
That
Thank you.
accent was perfect.
Thank you.
Jimmy,
the accent, yeah. No, the accent was too good that I've got nothing to say.
yeah, all right,
Literally,
good. We can move on.
nothing.
We can move right along. Tony Storm, black and white highlights. Look, I know both of you guys don't like this. I'm entertained by this nonsense. I think it's great. It's fucking
It's
funny.
bizarre for me, man. It's becoming really weird. One thing I did notice though, damn it, her calves are huge.
We'll get into the match in a minute here because this was before the break. There was just a quick little highlight of her being silly. She's funny. I don't know. I'm entertained by it. Also,
Timeless,
I
Chris.
asked for this. I legitimately asked for this when they started moving in this direction. So I can't fucking complain now. They're giving me exactly what I fucking asked for. So I'm going to keep defending it, even if it's terrible.
That's right.
Yeah. Keith Lee and another fat dude have dueling promos.
Now wait a minute. You are not just gonna sit there and call these guys a couple of fat dudes and then put over Tony Storm's vignettes and shit. No way. Not gonna happen. Not on my watch.
All right. Keith
You will
Lee
at least give these guys a little bit of respect.
and Tane Shaler, or sorry, no, Shane Taylor? Yeah, that guy. They have dueling promos. If
Shane
what I'm
Tyler?
hearing is listen, if what I'm hearing is true, poor Keith Lee.
Poor Keith Lee, man.
That meme will live forever.
Who is Keith Lee? I forgot he was even half
Forever.
decent at one stage.
He's still half decent when he has a fucking match, but it's like he's
he?
always hurt or his heart's fucking giving out on him or whatever the fuck's going on with
He's
Keith Lee.
giving out on him. God damn it, Chris. Oh well, maybe.
That's what fucking happened. He nearly died from COVID because his fucking heart
Right.
he had heart complications.
Well, when you're that big and you contract COVID, just saying.
Bro, when you're
Big
that
cats.
big and you catch a fucking
That's all I'm
cold,
saying.
it's
Shout outs to my
scary.
crab cats though, out there. Yeah, well, he's a big cat, man.
No,
He
he's
should
not.
be tougher.
He's not
not?
a bear cat. He's limitless.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, that's right.
He's limitless. He's the limitless one. You will bask in his glory. And let's be real. Let's all kidding aside. Shane Taylor nailed it in this.
Right.
He only had a
Well,
few seconds to get over, and I saw no issues with it.
at this
Maximized his
point-
minutes for sure.
This is a great comment. Limitless long COVID. It's endless. He should be called endless at this point.
I really think that they should announce his weight before they say he's limitless because that would pop me.
For he's
Weighing in
limitless,
at 375 pounds, for he is limitless. he's fat.
Casey.
Do you get it, Vet? He's fat.
I got it the last time you did it.
Yeah. All right. So from limitless to timeless, Tony Storm makes her entrance.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
I like that she didn't have the fucked up makeup tonight. She just was leaning into the starlet gimmick, which I prefer she do. I like the other week she had the makeup all fucked up, which it was like she was so deranged that she wasn't sure who she was. But now
Yeah.
she's just straight up looking like a starlet from the 40s, which is exactly what I said they should be doing with her. So I liked that she came out not with the makeup all fucked up.
Thank God.
She's facing Kira Hogan, so it's just fucking cakes on cakes on cakes tonight, and I am a fan of this.
We got
Just-
double quarter pounders tonight, boys.
And that's on period.
This
Yeah.
that
Period. Literally.
these two should team up and face Iron Savages because I would understand why the Iron Savages were excited for their gimmick if they were facing these two. Tony's pissed because her script gets ripped up in the beginning. She's very, very angry, and that allows Kira Hogan to sort of come up with a few spots because Tony's so angry that she's missing a few times. And Hogan slaps Storm's ass like a bunch in this match, like a whole lot. Like every bit of Kira Hogan's offense was ass slaps. How do I get into pro wrestling, Vet? Because I want to have this match with Tony Storm.
The easiest way is to know a guy. And maybe they can get you a discount on training. You can get in the Nightmare
Is
Factory.
he rock hard?
Oh boy. Anyway, there's also a titty slap before the break. That's funny. Every time she says it, I laugh. That is funny. I think that's great. Titty slap, and you're like, fucking God bless you, Tony Storm. You're wonderful. Anyway, Tony Storm wins via Storm Zero. Again, which Storm Zero? I'm not sure. It
Sounds
might
like a
have been
soda,
DDT.
boys. Storm Zero. Like, really?
It might have been a blockbuster from the top rope. It might have been a DDT. I don't know. Crucifix pin. Whatever it was. Storm
God
Zero.
damn it.
Storm Zero
Yeah.
for the win.
Can I point out her calves? Are they gotten bigger? Like, why are they so big?
They have to support that ass. I understand why those things are growing.
Oh, man, they're huge.
Yeah. Well, Vet, what'd you think of the match?
So this is interesting because you take a sort of a gimmick I hate, and there's nothing wrong with the execution of it.
Mhm.
The only question is why. That's the reason. That's the one of the biggest problems
There's
I
no
have.
why,
With
Vet. Stop it. They're not going to tell you why.
why, Jimmy?
Why would they?
Why is she? Why is she this? Did I miss something?
No, you didn't. We have no idea
Okay,
why.
all right.
She lost
So
the
that-
match.
relevant.
She's upset.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right. That sure. Why not? So anyway, yeah. So what I'm gonna focus on in this match was like, now we're back to, this is working again, right? Because if you notice one thing about this match, regardless of like, Kiera Hogan's pretty good. Like, she's all right.
Decent.
I've been
sure.
watching her for a while. Like, I see no major complaints that I could level against her that I couldn't level against most wrestlers, male or female. Like, a lot of them just have the same issues these days. It's just a lot of like, slow down and everything like that. Tony's never had those issues. Tony knows what to do. I don't know why. Maybe she just has a great aptitude for wrestling. So when you see, like, when you have somebody that is they're always trying to do a little too much, one of the things that you can do to curb that a little bit without having that uncomfortable conversation where you confront them and say, look, you do too much. If they do something to you, you sell it. And then they cannot continue to go on to their next spot because you're selling. So you force them to slow down. If you notice Toni Storm working this match, you will see that she's doing exactly that. She's making Kiera Hogan not go to the next thing, and take her time. So as a match, this was probably, even though I like the booking of the opening match, like, this was match of the night easily. And keeping in mind, we had a Daniel Bryanson, I think you said, we have a singles match from him. So he got outworked by Toni Storm because Toni Storm wasn't about to let somebody that outweighed her by 100 pounds fly at her full speed, right? She's smart. Okay. She worked the match great. She worked her character into the match great. The stuff was funny, even though it makes no sense and it's completely illogical, just like Gravity walking or Orange Cassidy kicking. But whatever, if she thinks she's in a movie with a script, that's fine.
But neither of them have nice asses. That's where it's different for me.
I mean, Kiera Hogan?
Gravity's all right. Considering the genetics
Gravity.
But
you can have Gravity, Vet, for crying out loud.
That's right. Yeah, Gravity didn't forget that ass. Come on, now. Gravity, baby.
Would his ass cheeks be clapping as he's doing the Gravity thing, or
they'd be like really slow? They'd clap real slowly.
Slow twerk.
You get chafing after that. Yeah,
slow twerk. Yeah.
It's like the slow chafing, like That's disgusting.
Yes.
Fuck Gravity.
So Toni Storm is about the best non-Deeb wrestler in probably.
Speaking of Deeb,
probably on the planet. No kidding. Yeah.
And I've been saying
for real. Yeah,
since she's been 19, I've been saying that.
Yeah.
So
Toni Storm,
like many things, everyone is about 5-6 years behind me like in
Look
terms
at
of
this
like
guy, look at
where
this guy.
where they notice stuff. You know, whether it's Jay White, Tony Storm, anybody from that.
Hey,
You
I
know,
was onto
that
the Jay
area of
White
the globe.
bandwagon from
Yeah,
the
but
day
you were probably
dot,
still
all right?
behind me. Still behind me, Jimmy.
I'm Greek, so you know.
Yeah, that's always a concern.
Touche. Anyway, yeah. Enough
All
of
right.
backs and stuff.
All right. Well, I'm not getting enough of it. I want more. Give me more Tony Storm and Kira Hogan and Sky Blue. Have them have a triple threat, just so I can look at everybody's ass.
But what's on the line, though?
Well, you did notice that was her other
Anything on
singles
the
match,
line?
right? Sky Blue.
True. Yeah.
I last week I literally said the exact same entrance. So it's Tony Storm versus Sky Blue. Cakes on cakes on cakes. Fuck yeah.
Sounds like breakfast at McDonald's.
Awesome. Ruby Riott is backstage.
Jesus.
Yeah. Speak of going from high to
Oh,
low.
one last thing, because I wanted to mention this because you guys mentioned it. Storm Zero is a play on the there's a drink in Japan called Strong Zero.
It sounds like a soda. Okay, right.
It's called Strong Zero, and it's like you guys know what Four Loko is?
Yeah, of course.
Mhm.
Okay, it's like that. It's an alcoholic energy drink. So
Ah.
So I think
So-
her sometimes her finisher may have been
like
called
a
Strong
40?
Zero actually, and then sometimes Storm Zero, and it's also been at least 5 things that they've called it that.
Really?
But whatever her finisher is always called that. Whoa, that's Coke Zero,
Oh,
Cherry Coke Zero.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Um,
TK special,
and then
that one
also-
right there.
So
Monster
that's just a little bit.
Zero
You know that logo is
One
supposed to be
zero.
666?
and the other Monster
Chris.
Zero.
I hate Monster Energy drink. They suck for me. I can't stand the taste.
Yeah, that's great. 0 sugar, but watch your heart, or you're gonna end up like Keith Lee with all that caffeine.
Yeah. Hey, I know a dude. No shit, man. He used to be addicted
Drink all these in one
to
sitting.
energy drinks. No shit, man. He used to drink about 10 of them.
I didn't drink
a
them all in
day.
one sitting.
Uh,
It's yeah. I'm not
Oh,
trying to
thank
Keith
God.
Lee over here.
Right.
I'm trying to stay alive,
Good.
guys.
No Keefy.
No. Anyway,
Keefy
Ruby
Limitless
Riott
Lee.
is mad.
Ruby Riott, if we have to talk about her again.
Yeah, she's mad because she's been banned from ringside for the women's title match between Saraya and Hikaru Shida on Title Tuesday.
Did she
That's
get
it.
banned from wrestling?
That's the bit.
Mhm.
Yes, please. Anyway, up next, we've got, business really picks up here. This is where they're going to get the big fucking surge in viewers for Collision. They're going to get all their million views back. Commander versus Fat Edbert for the Ring of Honor World title.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hey, Bert.
This match is exactly what you expect from a Commander and Kingston match. Commander walks ropes, Eddie lands shitty strikes. Neither of them bother trying to tell a story or sell anything. Commander at one point counters a superplex by just flat out landing on Eddie's head. You're supposed to go chest to chest on that counter. Good thing Commander weighs 6 pounds. Otherwise, this could have really hurt somebody. Not safe, but I guess it's fun. Spinning back fist for the win for Eddie. And yeah. Ring of Honor.
Yeah. Cobra
Folks.
Commander by Darkside Castle. I like that comment, dude. The Cobra Commander.
Did I miss anything?
No, not in this match. I mean, it's all right. It's all right, but
Yeah, it's
other than the things that you mentioned, but what are you really gonna get? Jimmy, do you want to talk about the match at all? Because
Just talking about it is making me go to sleep. No shit.
okay. Well, let's talk about Eddie
it
Kingston.
makes me want a muffin.
I can't stand Kingston.
Okay.
Unfortunately for me, I don't have no muffins.
Yeah. Go
All right,
ahead.
Are we all
Vet.
caught up? Are we all caught up? I don't know. There's a delay here. You would think that there'd be a bigger delay to Australia, but apparently there's more of a delay to Canada. So I'm never quite sure who's hearing what, but I can physically see Chris listening sometimes, so I know that there's some delay.
There's no delay on my end. I'm just
okay.
saying. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let me tell you something, brother.
Was
So-
that Cody?
So Eddie Kingston.
Yep.
I like Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston
No,
would have
you
a job in my
don't.
promotion. Yes, I do.
Really?
I've always liked Eddie Kingston. I've liked him since I saw him, which was in what was that now? An Impact when they were doing the
Oh
LAX
yeah, yeah,
Wars or
yeah.
something
That
like
was
that. Like
what,
I was like,
2015, 16, around
yeah,
there?
a long while ago, and I was like, I like this guy. I don't know where the fuck he came from because I didn't watch Chikara or any of that bullshit. But
CZW, I
like,
think he was in as well. Yeah,
yeah, or
Shikara,
whatever,
right.
whatever he was doing, I wasn't watching it,
PWG.
but he, right, nobody's watching that. That's
Yeah.
exclusive. You gotta
Yeah.
be in the
The
building.
Rosetta crew, right, exactly.
Yeah, so that's a
Rosetta show.
guy where his like physical appearance and his work are acceptable in the sense that I need a personality like that. Like I need what he can do on the microphone or as a character, and the wrestling is secondary. There's some
Right.
guys that are going to be way better in the ring than they are on the mic, and I need them too. Everybody has a role to play. Not that many people can match Eddie Kingston when it comes to words, so I need somebody like that. The rest of the stuff, you can actually you can improve that stuff, but you can't teach personality or charisma. Those things you either have it or you don't. So Eddie Kingston does need to tighten that shit up. There's no doubt that he needs to. Other than his own health and well-being, I don't really care what he looks like cuz I don't, that's not as important. But um even saying that, like as minor as it is, I noticed like watching this match, I was like, oh, is there finally some delt separation on Eddie's shoulders there? Like he just seems to have slimmed down a little bit. Like I see a little bit. Um, so if he wants to get it together and get the physical part of his game up to par, that's up to him to do. But as a talent, God, there aren't that many Eddie Kingstons. I need Eddie Kingston, and I can work with the rest. I can get that where I want it. So that's what I'm looking at usually when I see talent. Sometimes I see somebody, I'm like, well, there's just no hope. It doesn't matter. Eddie Kingston's
Right.
not one of those. Um, he's very unique, and people are drawn to him. He does have the it factor.
Mhm. I actually
The it
remember.
factor.
Pitching a finish when he first came in, because when he first came in, it was he was feuding with John Moxley over the AEW title, right? And he was so good on the mic. I mean, compared to anybody else at the time, it was like, holy shit, where did Eddie Kingston come from? Because nobody else in this company was cutting promos that were that good at the time. Um, I think he's still capable of it. But anyway, I remember pitching a finish to that match with John and Eddie because they had built up this whole thing where like they used to be friends and now they're not friends and they love each other but they hate each other kind of thing, right? Sort of. I
Sounds
mean, we get
familiar.
this.
Sounds very
We get this
AEW.
yeah, we get this from Eddie Kingston all the time, right? But yeah, very much just like an AEW trope, right? Well, I love you, but I hate you. But I love you, but I hate you. But we're going to wrestle and then I'm going to love you and then we're going to hug afterwards or whatever, right? Very homoerotic. That's the way they do things in AEW. But anyway, that was the story, right? We know each other, right? I used to sleep at your mom on your mom's couch or whatever, right? Type thing. And they had this big fucking finish, right? And it was an I quit match that they were having for the title, right? And I actually said that the best thing that they could have possibly done for that finish would have been for John to just absolutely beat the fuck out of Eddie. And I mean, have Eddie just bleeding to death and looking like he's about to fucking die
Like he's the
and
old dog Yeller. You know what I mean?
and have John just be like, "Fucking quit, man." Like say I quit already, right? And have Eddie just shaking his head. "No, I'm not going to fucking do it. I'm not quitting. Fuck you, you son of a bitch." Right? And have John eventually get to the point where he's beating him and beating him and beating him and finally he's just like, "Eddie, you want me to kill you in this ring, don't you?" And then have Eddie just like slowly nod his head like, "Yeah, fucking bring it on, man." Right? And then John just be like, "You know what? I quit. Right? Even if it's a fucking title change, I think that's a moment where it's like, look, I'm not going to fucking kill you. I quit. Not only could you use that as Eddie Kingston, you could move forward with that as, like, first of all, Eddie Kingston gets to then play, I'm not sure I really deserve the title, but I'm the world champion, but also I'm the world champion now, so fuck everybody who questions me, but also I'm kind of questioning myself, but also fuck you if you're questioning me, which I really thought would really play into Eddie's gimmick, right? And the way that he's able to cut promos, right? Because he doesn't just cut a promo and say things. He's emoting while he's saying things, right? So you can see him in a promo talking big, but you could tell that the emotion he's getting across is, I still feel like I'm not sure I deserve this belt or whatever. And I remember saying to Jimmy, like, listen, it doesn't have to be a long title run, but then you have Eddie Kingston, former world champion forever. He's made at that point because he's a former world champion. Obviously, it's not something that they can just recreate, but I've definitely said in the past that, like, man, you could get some serious fucking money out of Eddie Kingston if you book him right. Just don't try to give him a 5-star match because he's not going to have one.
He'll have a 5-star chop fucking session, but that's about it.
But he could have a 5-star segment. He could have a 5-star gimmick. He's just not going to have a 5-star match. So stop focusing on that. Let him be a character.
Right, but do you like how he brings up mental health and all that shit amongst, like, the storyline? You know what I mean?
It's overdone. It's overdone. Yeah. It's definitely overdone for him, but it's something that he could allude to without specifically mentioning. Do you know what I mean?
Right, because it comes across as me. Like, what about me? But what about me? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's a little bit too much for me. Yeah, yeah,
and that's again, where he loses me.
And again, there's things that you could tweak with Eddie Kingston, but there's definitely something there. Anyway, what do you think of that pitch, Vet? Because I've been, rolling around in my head thinking that that's really brilliant for the last 3 years. But
it's very WWE main event, isn't it?
Yeah,
like you could see this happening in the Bloodline or some.
Oh, I thought you meant the show main event
like that. Yeah. I mean, it could work in a certain time and place, sure. But
yeah, it could have worked then. That's what I'm saying. I don't think they can redo it. But at the moment,
he was kind of hot at that point. Not hot, actually. Let me rephrase that.
At that point, it was too. At that point, everything they were doing was, hot shotted also. So it just didn't really feel like nothing really felt authentic. It didn't feel like a journey for Eddie. It's just them telling us about his journey and then just thrusting him into the spotlight. So for all we've seen, it's just immediately him in the main event. So that's not really what people need. If they were doing that angle today, it would mean a lot more. But they're kind of doing it a little bit in its own way. Like he's climbing his way back up and winning these other championships and everything. So Ring of Honor champion, New Japan Strong champion. We'll see what else, where we go from here. And hopefully him having to work more means that he's just has no choice but to just be in better ring shape, and working with all these different people will give him that's all anybody needs in this business today. They need more matches. They can't do they can't work 8 times a week like they used to in the territory days. So you need as much ring time as you can. And yeah.
Right. Well, next up here, Adam Copeland is not getting any ring work, but he's sure happy to be here in Salt Lake City in front of his 300 closest friends and family.
About 10 of them. How do you bring Edge in this scenario, man? Like, really?
You're trying to do something. You think you're signing a big deal. This is rough though, man. They've had small crowds. This was kind of embarrassing. Like the one time during this thing where Edge was, I think he started giving a promo and he was like leaning over the side, like, so one of the corners where the announce table sits, right? And he was leaning over the side to point out Jim Ross, and they had to pan that direction. Empty. Like the only fucking place there was anybody was directly across from hard camera side and like a few people just behind the announce table. That was it. That was fucked, man.
Edge hasn't worked in front of a crowd this small since he was doing the Tony Condello death tours.
Not since
You know
fucking
what's funny?
exactly.
Yeah, in
Not since
Canada.
northern Manitoba. That he's
Right.
That's fucked, man.
But you know what's funny about that, right? I don't know if you guys caught when he first debuted, right? In the press conference after the fact. Do you know what he said? And I popped. First of all, he said, "You know what this reminds me of?" And you know, TK's looking at him. He's like, "Yeah, what?" And he's like, "It's like I'm back in my indie days again." You know, it's like the indie day. And I started laughing. I'm like, "Did he just call this company an indie company for real?"
Did Tony
you
make
know
the
what I mean?
horrified face?
Yeah, he kind of looked at him. But what's even better, right? Did you notice how he was laughing all the time while TK was next to him? He just laughs hysterically for no reason, really. He'd look at Tony and be like, it's like he came to the realization, right? Everything I've been told about this Marktard is so fucking true. Look at him. He's a fucking, you know what I mean? He just kept laughing, which made me laugh. And then the main event, though, boys, the handshake, he put his hand out to shake his hand. TK puts his hand out, then looks at him like with goo eyes, man. The love. Like, puts his arms out and he's like, all right. You know what I mean? But he literally reacted like that. Yeah, he wanted a fucking hug, man. And Edge, by God, gave him one. God damn it, man. No shit. And he was even grunted. Like he was like, ah. Like that, and then
Edge
starts
just
laughing
fucking
hysterically.
chuckling to himself, like, look at this
I kid you not, he
neurodivergent
was
ATM.
laughing hysterically, bro. For real. Like, and I was just thinking, I know what he's thinking, 100%.
Brutal.
Unbelievable, man. Because Christian would have given him the whole lowdown. 100%.
Christian is so good.
Like he needs it. All he would have had to do is ever watch one of these.
Oh, man, I felt for him, dude. I'm not going to lie. I was like, damn. You know
No,
what I mean?
everybody
But-
gets what they deserve.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Well,
Yeah.
like Josh says in the chat, Tony Khan loves his hugs. He fucking does. What's even
He really
better, though, the women know better. They know not to even lean anywhere close to him, man. You know what I mean? They just put out their little mitts like this.
I don't think I've ever seen him try to hug a girl. It's
No,
just
because
the
he's
guys
scared
he
of
tries to
chicks,
hug.
bro. He ain't gonna fucking try to hug no chick unless it's Martha Hart. That's it. Yeah.
I'm understanding more and more why all of the talent are in homoerotic fucking fantasy garbage
Shit.
spots. Yeah.
You know, yeah, no, you're right.
Anyway,
No.
Edge points out Jim Ross, and he's like, "Yeah, there's Jim Ross there, and he paid my college bills, and I love you, Jim."
If you got no one around and you don't want to stare that way, I mean, it's that awkward. Like JR, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I know him. JR, you know what I mean? Like,
He's-
come on.
I can see each individual person in this crowd, and there's JR. There
Oh,
he is.
fuck.
I recognize him because okay.
Rated
is
R for
confused.
ratings, boys.
Edge is confused. He's not sure why Christian doesn't want to team up with him. He was told he couldn't wrestle, and if he fell down, he would die. Christian was also told that he couldn't wrestle again. So here they are.
Didn't we get this
risking life and
repeat?
limb.
Didn't we hear the same thing on Wednesday?
And for the last 3 years from Edge, in fact. Yes, we have.
Yeah.
It's the same promo.
Rinse and repeat.
Mm-hmm. Says Christian is in his Bond villain phase, and Nick Wayne is the Persian cat, and he gets
That was
a
good.
Persian cat chant, which okay,
They all should have started meowing. That would have been even better.
Persian cat. Edge wants answers. He calls Christian to the ring, but Christian shows up on screen from the back. He's not coming out. You don't make the fucking rules here, Adam. I show up when I want to, and I'll see you on Title Tuesday. That is, if you can make it to Title Tuesday. Ominous. And then a dinosaur and a douchebag and a douchey sweater come out to jump at him. Dino lays out Edge, and they set up for a concerto, But Darby comes out to make the save, and then Darby,
mean
he can't hit Nick
Hancherto?
Wayne. Armchairto. That
Oh
comes
yes,
next.
I'm
They were
Cherto.
setting up for the concerto against Adam. They were going to hit him in the head. But then Darby makes the save, and then but he can't hit Nick Wayne because Nick Wayne is too cute or something. I'm trying to get in the head of Tony Khan and exactly why he books all of this to be subtly kind of gay. It allows Luchasaurus to attack, and then Nick gives a armchair toe to Darby Allin's arm. And I said, why is no one saving Darby? Where's Sting?
Sting, he got stung. And yeah, it was
Anyway,
pretty
that's
bad.
the
He got
end of the
stung by a bee.
show.
Yep, that's it.
That's it.
Uh, this was the worst collision possibly, maybe. Other than the
Pretty
start,
bad. The
and it was
start
just
was
no.
good. Listen, the opening match was good. Tony Storm had some good moments. We
There was
got
no
to see the
energy
Bang Bang
though.
Gang, Jay White. There was no energy because there was literally like 300 people in the fucking arena, Jimmy.
You're being too nice now. 300.
That's really hard, especially when you're in a big fucking arena like that. That is hard to get energy out of. If you've got 300 people in the fucking OVW arena or whatever, that would be banging. You'd hear
Well,
that and it would be fucking electric in there. 300 people in an arena that's supposed to sit 6,000?
well,
That's
first of
hard.
all, Impact had the Impact Zone, right? Maybe we need a TK Zone, if that makes any sense.
La
Is that the
Coca
hug
Zona.
zone? La Coca Hagina.
Los abrazos de cocaína. It's the
Fucking hell, man.
cocaine
You know what,
hugs.
Vet? Me and Chris were wondering, and we see it. Does he not have signs of autism? Tony Khan? Seriously, serious question.
I'm not a medical professional.
Neither are we, but you know what? He's in the spectrum, bro. I feel it.
I feel like
Yeah.
he's pretty neurodivergent. Anyway, Vet, what did you think of Edge's promo and then everything that came after?
I'm embarrassed.
That's exactly what I said.
I'm embarrassed for him. I'm embarrassed myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they think this is cool or if he's already realizing he's made a huge mistake.
Poor bloke.
He hasn't made a mistake. He made the right move, but I just don't know if he really thinks this is cool or if he has any. I can't imagine that if he had input on this that they wouldn't take it. So if he doesn't, then that means that his brain, in addition to everything else that's happened to it over the years physically, has also just been, turned into WWE mush because he's just completely in their style of dramatic bullshit wrestling storytelling that makes absolutely no sense. First of all, fire everybody in this segment for fighting outside of a match. Like, we got to fire them. I'm sorry. This is the precedent you set. So everybody needs to be fired. But again, no one comes out to help when people are getting crippled. It's like, what kind of this makes no sense. None of it makes any sense. None of the actual story has any logic to it whatsoever. Nick Wayne's explanation is not nearly good enough for why you would turn on a longtime friend. You still got a guy that is inexplicably a dinosaur.
And doesn't bite anybody still.
So like, no matter how, let's say you were able to overlook every dumb aspect of this, and you're one of those fans that's like, hey, it's just wrestling, don't take it seriously or whatever. So, okay, so you have this thing between all of these people, two sets of longtime friends, some very old, some much younger. Okay, and now there's a double conflict here. Okay, now maybe you find that interesting. But as soon as a guy named Luchasaurus walks into the scene, like, you can no longer, you cannot,
you can't suspend.
You're no longer able to suspend your
disbelief.
Yes, there's just no way that this holds up under any sort of scrutiny whatsoever. So even if this building was packed, that would just be that many more people that saw it live that were like, I think I can miss this next time they come back to town.
I know. It's what is a Luchasaurus, by the way? Is it a fighting dinosaur? Is that what it means?
I think something like that. Yeah, Lucha means fight.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Fighting dinosaur.
So yeah,
that doesn't.
He's a fight-saurus.
He's so dumb.
They found his fossils buried in the dirt with his dukes up. Its little tiny dukes were ready.
Tiny little arms.
Tiny dukes.
Yeah. Tiny Dukes is also about to be your new Ring of Honor 6-man tag team championship manager or something.
Fucking hell. We need Master Splinter to be Luchasaurus' fucking manager, man, in the future.
Speaking of Ring of Honor, and we had if we have to watch Iron Country on this fucking show, like if we're importing Ring of Honor stooges over to Collision, can we get some Athena, please? Can somebody who's doing something right? Can we import Athena?
You need Honor Club for that.
Well, we need Honor Club for fucking Iron Savages too. Yet I have to watch them on Saturday. So explain that one to me. Tell me why the Ring of Honor Women's Champion, who's like 39-0, is not on Collision.
I'm pretty sure she told Britt Baker to fuck off once backstage, so she's not welcome at AEW.
Well, Britt ain't on Collision either. So make it happen.
Well, yeah.
Her and her toothpick husband ain't on Collision. So let's get some Athena here while the getting's good.
Yeah, well, yeah. Why'd they even recruit her? What for?
So that she could be in Ring of Honor, Jimmy. They've got to build Ring of Honor with somebody, right?
Do you even hear about Ring of Honor anymore? Really? Like, when you think about it, not even the dirt sheets. Yeah, well, yeah.
I watch Ring of Honor every week, and by watch I mean skip everything that's not Athena.
I was gonna say you're so full of shit there, but I mean, come on.
I do. Well, I mean, I go through it. But I get to go through the whole 2-hour show. I don't like as soon as I see like Griff Garrison or something, I'm like skip. There's no. I'm not even fast forwarding it. I'm pulling the bar, like fully.
Not raising it.
Like, I'm not hitting the button. I'm pulling the bar forward.
There's not going to be none of that. There's not going to be none of these people that we saw, like this trios team that fought the Bullet Club Gold, like their Ring of Honor staples. I ain't watching that. I got to see, only reason I watched Vikingo's last match was because that's the one where he got injured. So I watched it. Once again, he's flying at a guy. He did it was like, I think it was Tony Nese. He did a tope on Tony Nese and like barely grazed him, and Tony and Tony fell down, and he just took a bump right on his hip. Kind of like Kenny Omega did the last time he did a dive out the ring. Did you see that? He basically took a flying back, a flying hip toss bump over the top rope. Nobody even made an effort to catch him. And I knew as soon as he hit that thing, he was like, why did I do that? It's like, why? I know even Kenny Omega was like, why am I still doing this? No one ever catches me. Like, what? I just straight took a flying hip toss bump by myself from the ring to the floor. Genius. But anyways, Athena, please. More Athena. She's the best, one of the best. That this is how you really do psycho lady in wrestling. Not Toni Storm thinking she's a movie star, not whatever the fuck anybody else is doing. No. This is get Athena on Collision now.
Yeah, well, it's not happening. It will never happen.
But if they bring her on, they need to give her a fun gimmick.
Yeah, call it Tina instead.
She has a fun gimmick.
We'll call her Tina, and her gimmick will be. You know what? I just thought of a real great gimmick.
Actually, Chris,
she can come out and she can think she's a werewolf. That'll be her gimmick. That'll for AEW.
All right, keep laughing.
Dogs are in right now, and wolves, just quietly. Have you noticed everyone's barking and howling these days in wrestling?
Ah, yeah, exactly, right? That'll
I
get
mean, look
her
at
over.
Bron Breakker. Look how he
Mm.
came out. He was a big black wolf.
Anyway, um,
I'm
Athena is
serious.
great.
I'm not
Athena is
joking.
legitimately great, though. Like she's a very, very talented women's wrestler. There are a few of them out in the world. They're just you have to go searching for them a little bit.
Holla at the moon.
Yeah.
Oh, oh
All right.
shit. We've
Time for
lost it.
letter grades.
Yeah.
Yeah, this show's gonna get a D from me. There were at least 3 segments of this where I thought, okay, that's well done. I like the Tony Storm match. I like everything they ever do with Bullet Club Gold, and I mean, I like all those guys. It's not just Jay White. I really, really like Juice Robinson. I have become officially like a fan of that kid. Um, like if he went back to
Kid.
WWE, I would be stoked to see him, hopefully in like the upper mid card sort of spot where I think he belongs.
CJ Parker.
No, don't do
That's
that.
juice. That's the
Don't do that.
juicy.
Call him Juice Robinson. Um, and then the I really really liked the tag title change too. I really liked that switch. I thought that was booked really well, and I like the fact that they're pushing like younger talent who I think they've been ignoring for a little while. I really like Starks and Big Bill both, um, and I'm glad that they did that.
I'm getting Thunder
Everything
vibes though,
else,
guys.
everything else on this show was bad. Like not just not good. It was bad. I don't want to see the ass eaters versus the scissorers. That's weird.
Why not?
I'm not into that. Um
You're not. It's
no.
2023. A lot of people are
And
into that
and
now.
Commander getting a shot at anyone's world championship is just embarrassing.
What about
Um
Gravity?
this crowd didn't do anything for me either, obviously. Um, yeah, it's getting a D for me. It literally only has a passing grade because of those 3 good things. Because the rest of this show would have been like an F minus if they didn't have those 3 good things on here. I would just fucking hate everything about tonight. So, yeah, D for me. Vet, will go with you next. What's your letter grade for the night?
C minus. I like more of the stuff than you did. It would have been a C plus, except for that embarrassing finish to the show. Like you brought in this guy, and this is what you have. So you lost almost a whole letter grade just for that finish there. Um, was this the one? Too much wrestling, guys. Was this the one that had the Danhausen thing on it, or was that a
No, that
different
was
show? Was that
Wednesday.
was that
That was Wednesday.
that was Wednesday? Okay,
Yeah.
just making sure. All right.
Wenshausen.
Yeah. So, yeah. So C minus, pass barely passable. But there was a lot of things working against it.
Yep. Jimmy.
Definitely a C minus for me, or even a D. Either way, man, it doesn't matter. They're interchangeable. C or a D, but I'll say C because it started off pretty decently, right? But then I don't know, man. It just fell off the cliff, and then we saw Edge. I mean, shit. Speaking of falling off, yeah, I just felt embarrassed. Like the vet said, I said the exact same thing, dude. I was saying while we're watching it, I go, dude, I'm embarrassed, literally for poor old Adam Copeland. I just am. You know what I mean? It really, like, I feel for him, dude, because, and I just remembered, you know why he laughed also? Because TK said it's his birthday this Tuesday. And then he just fucking laughed hysterically. I mean, who the fuck says that? It's my birthday, ladies and gentlemen. This Tuesday. Title Tuesday.
Yeah.
My birthday. Well, there's only 2 title
Neurodivergence
matches.
is fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, for that, C.
All right. Yep. Well, I will say before we get into plugs, Adam has a tendency to be pretty like expressive,
Which
especially
one?
now, like since his return, Adam Copeland. Um,
Oh, the
and
Coop.
yeah, like when he came out for the Rumble and he had that look on his face, like holy shit, I missed this, and you could sort of tell like he actually meant that. He really did miss it. Like, he was actually expressing an emotion he felt. Tonight when he came out, you saw like a facial expression on his face, and it really was pretty clearly, oh shit, we've got a lot of work to do. Like, you could
Dude,
see it was like, holy fuck.
he's been blocking people left and right too for actually being honest and not even giving him shit. They're just saying, look, he's not a draw, but I'm still a fan. And then, you know, a person I know got blocked for that. Just for simply saying that.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, really? Come on, Adam.
Anyway, D's and
Jesus.
C's from us, and let's do the plugs, and we can get the fuck out of here within 2 hours. Jimmy T, where can the people find you?
In bed at this point. I'm ready for bed. So you can find me in my bed. But no, in all seriousness, you can find me on the X at DJ Mass Effects, and also
Don't give the Iron Savages any ideas, Jimmy.
Yeah.
No, please stay away from me, savages, you mongrels. Just saying. But anyway, yeah, and you can also find us at the PWC Network. Like and subscribe right here at channelattitude.com, where not only do you get the realest talk in pro wrestling, but the best talk in all of wrestling for $5. Don't be tight. Don't be like TK. Pay $5 and you get the best thing in all of wrestling at Hamin Media Group.podbean.com and the PWC Network.podbean.com. And that's it, man. I'm ready for bed.
All right. Vet, where can the people find you?
They can find me scrubbing through Ring of Honor to get to Athena's content.
God damn.
Yeah.
You know, for only $10 a month, you can watch Athena. So
only $10. Damn.
yeah. Other than that, you can find me on twitch.tv/opinionhaver right after this. So please go there and hang out with me some more, and I'll tell you why you know, Athena's so great. And then you can also catch me on the Impact Attack as we record this. That is Monday. That is tomorrow, Monday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, every Monday with Brandon, where we talk about Impact Wrestling. Why would you want to listen to that, you may ask? Because I'm talking about it. That's fucking why. And so is Brandon. So we will, you know, we've had both of these lovely gentlemen as guests, and we will in the future as well, just as soon as they have time to stop watching all the AEW content that keeps getting put out against their will. And then you've got the Next Level Wrestling Review with myself and Big Ray Hernandez every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific at 11 a.m. Eastern. We talk about NXT, and if they do one of their premium live events, we talk about that too. You could check out our No Mercy review. And we've had both these gentlemen on there as well. Including this nobody right here as a constable, and this. Well, you know what? Let's just move along, and let's just say you can also find me not necessarily always on Wrestling with Rip Rogers, but I'm always mentioned on Wrestling with Rip Rogers because I'm just a huge friend and part of the show. So. Whoa. Am I back?
Vet's turned into a... Yeah, no, there he is. All right. Okay.
I'm back.
Yeah.
I came back.
Tune into everything Vet does.
Yes, yeah. Including... Yeah. I had to tune into myself just now. So that's what that was right there. So yeah, Wrestling with Rip Rogers and Stevie Richards Wrestling Analysis. Check all that stuff out. Patreon, Big Fitness Show, everything Stevie's doing. Check all that stuff out before I get blanked out.
He's killing it, man.
Right on. Well, you can find me on Twitter. I'm at Chris Ambs1. You can go there to see everything I have to say about pro wrestling, politics, and whatever the hell else I feel like talking about. You can find me on the PWC Network. Me and Jimmy T kick ass over there. We're also a pretty big part of the HMG and channelattitude.com crew as we kind of run the weekends. We do the Smack Attack. We do Rampage Uncaged. And right here, we do Wreckage. And so, yeah, you can find me at all of those places. Also, this week, like this last week, if you want to listen back, you can listen to my review of No Mercy and this week's NXT with the Vet and Big Ray. It was a fun show we did. And, yeah, other than that, you can't find me because I don't want to be found. I'm sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. All right, well, For Vet, for Jimmy, for everybody in the chat, thank you very much, everybody. We love you, and yeah, stay safe, and that's about it. Ole.
Ciao or bye, whatever. Peace.